Hello everyone, this is Simple Math for you again, and today's lesson is solving systems of equations by substitution. أهلا بكم من جديد في Simple Math for you، ودرسنا اليوم هو حل نظام المعادلات بطريقة التعويض. Substitution means replacing. تعويض, so we are going to replace a variable with either a value or an expression. Let's see what are the steps that we can follow to solve systems of equations by substitution. Step 1, when necessary, solve at least one equation for one of the variables. Make sure that one of the equation is in this form, y equals to an expression or x equals to an expression. Sometimes it might be ready for you. It can be already there in the equation. Sometimes you need to solve for one of the variables. إذا نعمل حسابنا إنه لازم يكون عندنا واحد من المتغيرات في طرف والتعبير الرياضي في طرف آخر أو الرقم أو القيمة. إما y إما x. أيهما أسهل. So use whatever easier for you. Step 1, you will have y or x. Step 2, you will use that expression. Substitute the resulting expression from step 1 into the other equation to replace the variable. So step 1, one of the equations will give you, the other one will take from you. One will send, the other will receive. So the other one will be receiving or taking the value. Substitute, the last step, substitute the value and then solve. After you find one of the variables, then you will solve in any of the equations to find the second variable. So if you have solved for x, then use any equation to solve for y, or vice versa, which one you are starting with. This is the summary of the steps, and let's start with the first exercise. Use substitution to solve each system of equations. Y equals 5x plus 1, 4x plus y equals to 1. We have equation 1, equation 2. Now, it is very clear here that equation 1 is ready to give. Y is already isolated. So, equation 1 is, mission is done. Mission is done for equation 1. It will send directly the value of y. So, this is the value of y that will be replaced in equation 2. So, equation 1 will give. Now, equation 2 is this one. This is equation 2. All what you need is to replace, take away the value y and put the expression 5x plus 1, put it into brackets because sometimes you need to multiply or subtract before you proceed. Now you have an equation with one variable. صار عندنا معادلة واحدة في متغير واحد وهو x. Now, combining like them, since there is only plus here without a number to multiply or subtraction or anything, then this is equivalent to the following equation. This is just 5. Combining 4x plus 5x, 9x. And subtract 1 from both sides or take the 1 to the other side as we get used to. So 9x is equal to 9. Dividing by 9, so x is 1. Now we have found the value of x. أوجدنا قيمة الx. Use any equation to find y. It's very clear here that equation 1 is much easier to be used than equation 2. So we will use equation 1. You can use any. ممكن تستخدم equation 1 المعادلة الأولى أو الثانية لإيجاد متغير y. بس الأسهل إنه y already مفصولة في equation 1. So we will use this one, equation 1. So what will you do? You will replace the x, this one, by the value of x that you have found, which is this one. And y is 5 times 1, 5 plus 1, 6. So we have found y and x. So the solution is and ordered pairs زوج المرتب 1 and 6. You have one solution. So that means, referring to the previous lesson, the lines are intersecting at one point. This is how they look like. Great. Moving to equation 2. Now, equation 1, system 2, not equation 2, we have system of two equations. Both of them are solved for y. Equation 1 is ready. Equation 2 is ready to give. So let's now use equation 2 to give. So this is the sender. What is the receiver? This one. It will send, equation 2 will send the value of y to this equation. So simply you will take this expression and replace it instead of this y. So equation 2 gives, now this is equation 1. I will rewrite it so that you understand what I'm doing. So now this will be replaced by 2x minus 5. And this is an equation with one variable. أصبح عندنا معادلة في متغير واحد, and I will solve as usual. Take the x's together, numbers together. Of course, remember this was negative. 2x minus 3x is negative 1x. 5 minus 34 is negative 29. So dividing by negative 1 or reversing both, it will be 29. This is equation 1 giving you variable x. Replace in any now. It doesn't matter equation 1 or 2. I will replace in 1. Y is 3 times x minus 34. X will be replaced by 29. 3 by 29 is 87. 87 minus 34 is 53. So your solution, you have one solution ordered per 29, 53. Now, system number 3. Now we have equation 1 and equation 2. None of them is ready to give. We have to solve for one of the variable. Now, which one we will choose? It's very clear here that here we have 1x, we have 3x, 4y, 2y. It's better to use this equation number 2, to solve for x, since it has coefficient of 1. Free of coefficients, free of factors. So I will solve equation 2 for x here. It will be minus 1 minus 2y. So equation 2 sent. Give us. So what will you do now? Use equation 1 to take, which is 3x. And this is x, and the value of x plus 4y equals minus 3. And this is x. So what shall I do? I will replace the x by the expression. أعوضها بالتعبير الرياضي. And I will use distribution, the way you were solving the equation, مثل ما كنت تحل equation بالأول. Careful and accurate. Of course, you can cancel here, because we can add 3 and we get 0 minus 6y plus 4y minus 2y, or you can use the traditional way to do that, dividing by negative 2 both sides. So y is 0. Since y is 0 here given, you can use it to find x. Use any equation. You can use even the equation that you have solved here for x. Use x is negative 1 minus 2y. 2 times 0. So it is minus 1. Minus 2 by 0 is 0. So x is minus 1. And then the solution is negative 1 and 0. We have also one solution. Great. Question system given here. Let's see, what can we do? We can solve it in two ways or two approaches. We can solve for y here. So y is negative 3x minus 5. equation 1 sent, equation 2 will receive the value of y, which is given by this box. And I will use distribution. 6x minus 6x 0, we end up with minus 10 equals to 10. Even if you take this here, it will be 0 equals negative plus 20. It will lead to this one. In both cases, you can stop here or there. We have two sides free of variable x. No variables are there. And these sides are not equal to each other. So this is a false statement. That means there is no solution, or the solution is phi. It means the lines were already parallel to each other. Can I know that without solving? Yes, I can. Let's copy the equations here and see if we can find a relation. As you see here, if you compare equation 1 to equation 2, you can reach equation 2 by multiplying by 2. 3 times 2 is 6. 1y by 2 is 2y, so this is right, this is right. So in this right side, left side, I mean, in your way, left-hand side, we have exactly multiples. This equation 2 is a multiple of equation 1. But if you multiply negative 5 by 2, you are with 10, not negative 10. So this is false in compared to the other side. And that means this side will not equal to this side. And that means there is no solution. So you can know that mentally, no solution. If from the beginning one of the sides is not a multiple of the other, then there will be one solution definitely. Let's use the same approach here and check our understanding. To reach from negative 5 to 10, you need to multiply by negative 2. So if you multiply equation 1 by negative 2, this is 10, right? If you multiply 4 by minus 2 is negative 8, right? So until now, everything is correct. If you multiply the 20 by negative 2, this is also correct. That means this side is always equal to that side. And that means we have infinitely many solutions. That means both equations represent the same line. They are coinciding to each other. Can we solve and check? After long solution, yes, we will end up with the same result. Let's solve for one of the variables. None of the equation is ready to give, so we will solve for one of the variables. I will use equation 1 to check. So I can solve for y, let's say. And you will divide by 4 to get y alone. So we will end up with like slope-intercept form. This is given by equation 1. Now let's use equation 2. Equation 2 was 10x minus 8 times y. So I'll take the expression of y here and continue writing. Starting to distribute, 8 times 5 over 4 is negative 10x. 8 times 5 is 40. Negative 40 is equal to negative 40. 10x minus 10x 0, we have minus 40 equals minus 40. Right-hand side equal to the left-hand side, so it's definitely infinitely many solutions. So we can reach to the same conclusion by detailed solving. You choose the way you like. And let's take a real-life exercise here. Harvey has some $1 bills and some $5 bills. So we have two categories of bills, $1 bill and $5 bill. In all, he has 6 bills. So we don't know here how many bills we have, here. We don't know. So we will have totally, their sum is 6. So it might be 4 plus 2 or 2 plus 4 or 3 plus 3 or 1 plus 5. We never know. So let's see how can we write equations. And the value, total value of bills worth $22. Let X be the number of $1 bills and let Y be the number of $5 bills. From the first statement, we know that X plus Y equals to 6. Number of $1 bills plus number of $5 bills totally will be 6. This is what we know. Now the second equation will be a value, will be a money. And it depends on the number of bills. تعتمد على عدد فئات الدولارات البيلز. So here we have $1 bill multiplied by X will give you the total value. يعني إذا عندك قيمة دولار ل5 بيلز فيكون 1 في 5 $5 القيمة لهاي الفواتير 5. بنفس الشيء here 5 times Y equals to 22. 22 means what? 22 means dollar. If you compare here the inputs, this is dollars, and this is dollars, so we are okay here. So we have here two equations. We have two equations with two variables that can be solved by substitution. Now, we can solve for X or Y in the first equation. I'll use the first equation here. So let's solve for X. So X is 6 minus Y. This is equation 1. Equation 1 sent. Equation 2 will receive the value of X. So I replace the 6 minus Y here instead of the X equals to 22. And then I will solve. Minus 1Y plus 5Y is plus 4Y. Taking this here, 4Y is 22 minus 6. It's 16. So Y is 4. Replace in any equation. I replace in the first one. X plus Y equals to 6. Or you can replace in the one that you found here, which is easier for you. You can here use equation 1 here. You know that X equals 6 minus Y. So X is 6 minus 4, which is 2. Now it ends up with 2 and 4. That means we have 2 $1 bills and 4 $5 bills. Of course, the sum of bills is 6, right? If you check in equation 2, then the total value will be $22. This is how we deal with real life application. Geometry application. We have here angle A and B are complementary. Complementary angles means their sum is equal to 90 degrees. Where supplementary, يعني in other equation you can have complementary في متممة وفي مكملة. أول مكملة لل90 متممة supplementary the sum is 180. مجموع الزاويتين 180. الأولى مجموع الزاويتين 90. So if you have angle A and B are complementary معناها their sum مجموعهما 90. If it's supplementary you will make them equal to 180. They have a difference of 20. يعني الفرق بينهما 20. So we were able to write two equations. How can we know them, the angles A and B? Same strategy. Use one of the equation to give, other one will take. So I'm using equation 1 to solve for A. So A is 90 minus B. Now equation 2, which is A minus B is equal to 20, will receive A. So it will be 90 minus B is 20. This is 1B, so minus 2B, taking the 90. So minus 2B is negative 70, divide by negative 2, so B is 35 degrees. If you know one of the angles, then angle A is 90 minus 35, which is 55 degrees. We found two angles by writing system of equations. كتبناها نظام للمعادلات بمعرفة الشروط. Last question before we move to the checking. A local charity جمعية خيرية have 60 volunteers 60 متطوع. So مجموع المتطوعين 60. The ratio of boys to girls. So we have boys and girls. So let's name the boys X and the girls Y. If you know that their sum is 60 على طول we can write X plus Y is equal to 60. The ratio of boys to girls is 7 to 5. Ratio means boys over girls. The order is important. Is 7 to 5 means 7 over 5. This is a ratio. So we can write here from this statement 7 to 5 is exactly 7 over 5. And it cannot be the reverse. Boys, we name it X. Girls, we name it Y. So we can write X over Y equals 7 over 5. Now, how can we solve these equations? We have equation 1, equation 2. Let's see how we can solve. We need to rearrange it by using cross multiplication. ممكن نعمل ضرب تقاطع. So we can say that 5x is equal to 7y. And then we can say that we will use equation 1 and 2. Use equation 1 to solve for one of the values. For example, we can solve for x. So x is 60 minus y. Now the 60 minus y will be replaced instead of this x. So what will be the result? 5 times, put brackets, 60 minus, لازم تحط أقواس. إذا ما حطيت معناها في خطأ كبير رح يكون equals 7y. إذن we will solve. 300 minus 5y equals to 7y. You can take the 5y there. So 300 equals 7y plus 5y is 12y. Dividing by 12 both sides. So we have here 2. Divide 300 over 12, which is 25. So y is 25. Y is 25 means we have 25 boys. Now, if you replace to find the girls, so x is 60 minus 25. You can use equation 1 even. 60 minus 25 is 35. So that means we have number of boys. نسمينا البويز mean x. So number of boys is 35. Number of girls is the 25. Now let's check. Is that okay with the proportion? We said that boys over girls is 35 over 25. If you simplify, it will be 7 over 5, which is exactly the proportion, the ratio, I mean, that they have mentioned. So our solution was correct. Finally, we will check. Refer to the system of equations here. We have two equations. Part A, which expression could be substituted for y in the first equation to find the value of x? Of course, here y is ready to give, so the expression will be used is only this part. So this is the answer that we are looking for directly. What is the solution of the system? We will solve. So we will use equation 1, 3x minus 2, y. I'll take the value of y and I will start solving. You can check alone with me. And x is 13 only. Since x is 13, you can choose either C or D. So we need to replace to find y. Use equation 2 to replace. Equation 2 is y equals 2x plus 2. X is 13, so it's 26 plus 2, 28. So our solution is 13 and 28, definitely. This is the solution. And here is another checking question. Select the correct statements about the system of equation. Here you can use this expression and replace it here, and you can do it as a task for you. But let's observe here clearly. We have a fraction here. Let's try to get rid of the fraction. This is with denominator 2. So I'll multiply everything by 2 here. It will be 2y equals 2x only. I'm distributing everything. Plus 2. Compare equation 1 with 2. If you take the x here, it will be 2y minus x equals to 2. This side is equal to this side. Negative x here is negative x there. 2y is 2y. So we have exactly the same equation but written in a different form. Since this is the case, then we have infinitely many solutions. You can check that by using equation 2 in 1, and you will find that the right-hand side will equal to the left-hand side exactly. That means we have infinitely many solutions. With that, we end up this nice lesson. Substitution. انتهينا من درس حل المعادلات بطريقة التعويض. See you in the next lesson when we solve the equation by another method called elimination. نراكم في الدرس القادم حل المعادلات بطريقة الحذف. شكرا لكم جميعا وإلى اللقاء. Thank you very much.